to the Gibbons Talks Boxing YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. As I'm sure you can all see, I am talking to Craig Rocky Morgan, formerly a professional boxer, top amateur boxer here in Wales, and also now a BKB fighter, bare knuckle boxing. Craig, you were in action Friday night, but before we actually talk about your fight, can you just tell us the circumstances in which you were offered the fight? Because they were a little bit unusual, I believe.
Well, yeah, with all the COVID now at the minute, I think everything's a bit unusual, isn't it? But yeah, I trained for, I have a British title fight lined up. I trained for one camp, it was called off, to another camp, it was called off. To be honest, I was losing a bit of heart there, or like the training and stuff, fights getting called off. Then Jim and Joe announced it was a lockdown show, tried to get on it. Nothing materialised then. Jim never got back to me anything really with an opponent. He messaged me every now and again, like say he might have someone, but then it was falling through. And I stopped dieting, kept training, stopped dieting really. And then the day before the show, he messaged me, they're going to fight, and I was over 3 kilos overweight. I was gutted, but I had to get off end of the day and go up there. Like.
So what were you actually doing when you got the phone call?
Sleeping. It was my day off work. It was a message it was, and my wife, she said, "Oh, Rock, you got to go. You're fighting today, tomorrow." I said, "Oh, sound," because I was wanted to. It was like I wanted to fight, but I still didn't want to eat food, so I was still stuffing my face and putting weight on, training. But I knew it was heavy. I was, "I'll get off." And the days were getting. I thought if I do get matched, I'll get off. But the days were getting closer to the show. In the end, it was like, "Oh, you know what? I'm a bit overweight now. I probably want to end up fighting." And then the day before, he messaged me up there. I just jumped on the scales, see how weight it was. I woke up, I was 72.7. So I went for a sweat run. There were 4 miles that day. I done some pads in the room, we turned the bed on the side and everything. I got a sweatsuit on, done like half hour of pads, didn't eat, and then I made the weight then the next day.
I mean, for most people, I mean, even a lot of fighters, professional fighters, they like a little bit of notice for a fight. I mean, a week is considered short notice for a fight, but for you to take it on less than 48 hours, I mean, tell me about the mentality of someone like yourself who's willing to do that.
Well, I always think back to when we was boxing as amateurs years ago. We'd go to a show as a space, but especially a kid usually, like, you know, a youth boxer. You'd go to like a show as a space, and they'd be like, "All right, who we got this weight? Oh, we got him, the open class, same weight, get him on." So you'd have 40 minutes notice sometimes to a fight. So I just think of that really. I train like it was an amateur boxer anyway. I'm always training, you know, I'm always kind of ready. I don't do camps.
Was there any, when you had the message or when you were told by your wife you had a potential fight, was there any doubt in your mind at all about taking it?
No, none whatsoever. The only doubt was, I thought, well, no doubt, but the only thing was, nigga was, God, I'm hungry, you know, for the next 24 hours, like, I'm not going to eat no food.
And I believe as well, I'm right in saying that you were considering not knocking the boxing, the bare knuckle boxer on the head, like a few weeks before.
Yeah, I'm 37 now. I'm not a kid, like, so. And with all this COVID and things just weren't getting better. And to be honest, I'm a bit of a pain in the ass to live with. So I do. My wife said that I do it heading quite a bit, like with the diet and just whinging about this and I whinge about everything, to be honest. So like, you can imagine that amplified by 10 when I'm trying to diet and train and work and everything. So we used to have an argument, and I was like, "Well, I'm arguing with her now over a fight which I might never have because there's COVID stopped and everything." So there was a point. I was going to quit then, but fight is fight.
So what was the reason why you decided to stick around? Even though you didn't have a fight, and you didn't have a fight lined up until a couple of days before. So what was the reason you decided to come out of retirement after being retired for a couple of days or whatever it was?
Because I get pissed off even more, to be honest. I was even more miserable. So you just get out, do something, go and train. So yeah, I don't know. I my mind stop and change like the weather. I might retire probably tomorrow again and retire the next day. Is it fair to say that
you live the lifestyle. It's a bit of a cliche. Some boxers say it, and there's examples of boxers not living the lifestyle. But you live the lifestyle of a boxer. So that's why you're always ready.
Yeah, but I just enjoy training. I do. I like it. I like to run. I like to train. I like to keep myself fit and healthy.
Yeah.
Just nice, isn't it? Nice to feel healthy and feel light on your feet. And I like to let myself go and feel fat and fit and all that.
like the majority of us, I mean.
No, just like to train, like to keep fit as a healthy mind, right?
Yeah.
Healthy body.
So what day did you travel to the venue for the BKB after you had the notice?
Thursday.
And I presume you entered a COVID bubble, so to speak. So were you tested for COVID when you first arrived?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, second test of COVID in a month. I had it at the beginning of the month. I was isolated until the 14th of November.
Right. So you get in the BKB COVID protected bubble. Were you allowed to bring a trainer with you, or would you have to use the house trainer?
Yeah, just one trainer. That's all. Just one cornerman.
And tell us about the fight itself. I know it was late notice, so perhaps some of your fans who probably would have watched it didn't realise you'd even fight in. That's how much late notice it was. But talk us through the fight. A really impressive performance from yourself.
Oh, thank you. He's a southpaw. I knew he was a southpaw because, like I told he was. I had a little look at him, not much really, but just a little squint. And he was a southpaw, so I just knew he was obviously wrong around today. So just there was no gloves on, just took my time. And just took my time, boxed him in, just when I got in range, just let him go.
And I know you've had, how many bare knuckle fights you've had now? Was this your third or fourth?
4. I've had 4 together.
I mean, you've got an extensive amateur background. We can see your Welsh vests in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
How much? Do you feel you've settled into bare knuckle boxing now? You're used to the different ways compared to glove boxing.
Yeah, funny enough, I said that yesterday to my wife about it, and I feel like I'm growing into it now. I feel like I'm getting more used to that because, like you said, with the glove boxing, a massive difference as in regards to, like, the way you catch shots and stuff, and the fact that gloves can stop with the gloves. You imagine like when you go your guard up, the gloves are so big, and then another glove trying to come through that is. But obviously, we catch each other anyway, don't you? Even trying to, with being like with your hands, you can fit through any little gap. So I think I'm starting to warm to that now instead.
And do you approach a bare knuckle fight different to glove? I mean, obviously you do because you just said that there. I mean, what are the main differences in the way you approach the fight?
I train for it. Like I train for a boxing match. It's just like I box with I try to box with head movement anyway, and tidy feet. And that's the thing with bare knuckle boxing. Just like it's like good head movement and fast feet. I think that's an attribute to it. Like if you try to box maybe in a high guard, it doesn't really work, like I said, because hands can sneak through the gaps and stuff.
So you got the stoppage in second round, I believe. Tell us about the first. Sorry, apologies. The first. Tell us about the knockout.
He's like I said, he was in southpaw. He's open for a right and left hook, and then the shots he kept catching with my favourite ones as well, to be honest. So there's nothing really to tell. He clipped him and he went down. He got up and he went down 3 times. He stopped there. And
what's it like from a boxer's point of view when you land punches with no gloves on? I mean, what's the difference compared?
It feels good. The connection is nice. It feels nice, like you know where they're going. When you catch them, you know where they're going. The connection feels sweet, like when somebody with a glove on, you think, oh, that was good, but with a fist, you know it's good. You can feel it, like in your hand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I suppose obviously it has an impact on your opponent, but your hands. I mean, do you feel pain or do you feel your hands hurting every time you land a solid shot in the bare knuckle?
I did in the last punch of the fight. I did my left hook, the third knockdown, and I felt my left, finger next to your thumb. The 4 fingers. I felt that break. I think it broke. It hurt anyway a lot, and it's swollen. So I think I broke my neck at the last punch of the fight.
Right. So I mean, how are your hands at the moment now?
A bit of a mess. I got cuts on that one, and now when I'm holding the camera now, it's all swollen, puffy, and bruised.
I know when I've interviewed guys immediately after some of the fights in the bare knuckle, I mean, that their hand, you know, the faces are a bit of a mess sometimes. It's their hands that are hurting them more than the injuries to their face.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with my face. I feel like I haven't been in a fight, just my hands, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've had an impressive couple of fights with the BKB. Who next for you? I know you're quite a humble guy, so you probably won't be calling anyone out. But who are the guys in and around your weight who you might be matched up with next?
Yeah, like you said, I don't do that. I don't call nobody out. But it was the fight was lined up for a British title with John Hick, so I still want to fight. I'm not calling him out. The fight was set. It was set in stone. We sell tickets for it, so I still want to fight. And after that, like I said, I'm not really bothered. Wherever they ask me to fight, I'll fight. Like you said, I don't like to call people out. That's not my thing. I was happy to be there, still having a go for once. I like the sport. I like boxing. It's a bit of me. I've done it for all my life. To be honest, I can't really live without it. Like, so I just enjoy being part of it.
Yeah. So I mean, you mentioned there. I mean, how did you get into bare knuckle boxing? Because you, like I mentioned earlier, you was a couple of Welsh vests behind you. You obviously boxed as an amateur. You had a few fights as a glove pro under the British Boxing Board of Control. You had a couple of fights, or at least one fight under BKB, another professional boxing organisation. But how did you end up in the bare knuckle?
With boxing with me, it was like I said, boxed, like amateur, pro, stopped for ages, years and years and years. And then I went back in, I had a couple of license, bust my hand, bust my thumb, a nasty break my thumb. I had wires holding together, I have operation on it. So I quit forever, he's done. Never going to do it again because he's obviously laid me up from work. And boxing being a hobby, works, puts food on the table, so I obviously had to go to work, couldn't jeopardise that for a hobby. But being like then started, like I seen like Sean George and stuff, all the boys like who was doing well in being like then, and they started like bringing the sport, highlighting the sport. I see on Facebook, and I thought, oh, this seems alright. It seems like a bit of me. So I won't mind to go with this. And I thought, oh, if I ever get a bare knuckle fight, that's the only time I'll ever, well, not put the gloves on, but you know what I mean? I'll ever get back in the ring, like. So with that then, out of the blue, Sean Seeley from TJO show, the gloves are off. He messaged me just randomly one day. He said, mate, he said, I heard you might be looking for a bare knuckle fight. I was like, oh, we are. But I said, I think Jim, I think someone mentioned me to Jim because it was talk. I wanted one anyway.
Yeah, I think I was like, mentioned your name to Jim a couple of times actually. Oh
yeah, you did. Yeah, I wanted one, but I was like, I'm making a leap back lifting weights. I was like, should I lose weight? And I was flirting with the idea. I was, and then all of a sudden, then Sean messaged me. I think Jim had given him my name, and I thought, oh, why not now? Because he'd actually like put me on the spot and asked me. I thought, oh, here we go. Why not? And then that was it. From there.
Yeah. Do you feel your fighting style suits bare knuckle boxing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, because like you can be an out boxer, stand up, get a jab and all that, and sometimes that won't suit. Or you can be a proper rough scrapper and be alright and sell tickets. But like sometimes you can get outboxed. But I think I can do a bit of both. I might not be the best stand-up boxer in the world behind the jab now, but I'm not completely reckless. I've got some sort of method to my madness, right? So I've got some sort of defensive style and an attacking style, if that makes sense. I mean, I got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that there are certain professional boxers, even like some of the good guys, I can probably think of a few, who just wouldn't be suited to bare knuckle boxing?
Yeah. There's a few. I'll look at Hibbard now. Yeah. He boxed Lily.
Yeah.
His professional record was fantastic, but he couldn't adapt to bare knuckle as well as they obviously did with the glove boxing.
Yeah, Hibbard seemed shocked at how tough it was, really, and how brutal it was, which I know was
that was that. I think that was it. Like I think Lily beat him, didn't he? He was a draw, but Lily beat him, and I think he thought because he was so successful in glove boxing, and he beat Tyler Goodjohn and all them. Tyler Goodjohn was like world champion. I think he was going to come over and take him by storm. And he had a proper eye opener that night, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably James's best fight of his career.
Oh, he boxed fantastic. He boxed out of his skin. He was gutted he didn't get a nod because we all, when it was there, he won the fight, didn't he?
Yeah. You already mentioned her once in the interview or twice. I mean, your wife, she's a massive support for you in your fighting career.
Without sounding cheesy, she's a driving force. Like she's the one that makes when I do it for really. What it was, like I said, boxing and they're boxer pro. Hannah boxed herself, and she was always never seen me fight. She was getting into that, but like, and that's why I first had like an unlicensed. I had 4 unlicensed to just have a couple of like with Hannah there to be involved in it, and now would have been like, oh, it seems like I'm doing all right. I'm doing half decent. And she enjoyed the dieting part and stuff and me being moody. But she likes me doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she don't fight herself anymore. But she's a massive part of it. Like I said, I'm sounding cheesy. She's the reason I do it.
Yeah, and I know you got just from your social media, I know you got a couple of daughters. I mean, what do they think of their daddy as a bare knuckle boxer?
I think my oldest don't really like it too much. She does like it, but doesn't like it, if that makes sense. When I'm having chocolate and I can't eat them, so on a diet, then she don't like it. But when I actually went in and she walked around with tea broccoli on the top and stuff, she likes that. And the telly, the other day, she loved it. I kept doing that all the time on the camera. Like I think people like cracked up, but it weren't. What it is, my daughter does that to me all the time. My youngest, only 4, and my 8-year-old as well, is a copy of her sister. So that's our little handshake, me and her. So I kept doing it to Terry because I promised them I'd do that because that's our little handshake between us. So I kept doing it to Terry all the time. Even when I knocked him down, I did it to the camera. Kept doing it all the time. So I didn't know which camera they was going to catch me on. So that was for my daughters, that was. But like they loved that then.
And I think I've seen some sort of, I don't know the word is, dodgy looking pictures on Facebook of you in various outfits. I think your daughters are putting makeup on you and that type of thing as well. Oh
yeah, put stuff in my hair, that's my shaved it off. Put bombers in it. No, yeah, I'm an out and out family man. I am. Like, I just love family unit. Like, I'm a different person when I do bare boxing, but I'm out and out family man. I love my kids, I love my wife, I love the home life. Like, I had my fight, didn't go up and celebrate, didn't have a pint, nothing after. I drove home, straight home. When I had half of my daughters, I stopped and bought them snowmen, Teddies, snowmen with chocolate in, from Morrison's on the way home. Come home, give me Teddies. They went to bed, and I owe my wife. I went to sleep, I went to work.
Well, so you were back in work on the Saturday?
Yeah, overtime shift was Saturday. I said I'd do it, see, before I had the nod for the fight. And I wouldn't have not went to work again. I would have let down, so I do it. So I drove home. I got to bed about 11:30. By the time I go home and talk to my wife and see my kids. And I was up for work at 3 a.m. So it was a 3.5 hours kip. I was knackered yesterday.
How do people, like maybe family members not necessarily close to you, or like friends we might see only now and again, or even strangers, how do they react to you when you tell them that your hobby is bare knuckle boxing?
Some don't understand why we do it. They think we do it as if like they think we do it because I don't know. They ask you, why do you do that for? I don't understand. You have to do it. That makes sense. You have to do it. You have to be part of something. Because like I don't do glove box anymore. I lost the love for that, but this reignites something in me. This did, and because you have to do it. Fighters fight, and you have to do it. It's like they don't see it. People don't seem to understand that.
Yeah.
I don't do it for any reason. I don't do it. I don't do it to brag down a pub. I don't do it to think, oh, why look at me? But I do it because I have to do it. I think if you do it for any other reason, I think some boys do. I've seen boys turn up on shows, and they don't want to be it. They don't. They get clipped on the chin and they go down. Yeah. And it's like, what do you come here for? I think some do it for that, just for the like the stigma comes with it, being like a boxer. But with some of us, we just have to do it.
So I guess with that in mind, I mean, how far? I mean, how many years do you plan to stay in bare knuckle boxing, or are you just going to see how it goes?
Yeah, see how it goes. That's the thing, see, I'm old, like I said, I'm 37 now. So, but I boxed all right the other day. So it's like, oh man, I was thinking, I'm getting old, a bit too old for this now, but then I boxed all right. And it's like, I might have another couple of fights left. So I really don't know, like, I don't know, I just got to take it one fight at a time now.
Yeah.
That's why I don't put names and, like, when I'm interviews, I'm not really good at this type of stuff, right? So when I'm interviews, then people say, where are you going to see yourself in 12 months? Where are you going to see yourself in this long? Who do you want to fight after that one? That's the thing with me. I don't ever call people out, or I don't see myself here in 12 months or there in 12 months, because anything could happen. You could fall down, trip over outside. Now, I could go, my missus and kids have a bit of food. I could trip over, break my ankle. I'm finished. I'm 37. Might never recover the same. So like I said, I'm just happy to be here day by day, training, doing my thing, fighting when I get a chance. So see how it goes. Like, I might never get this fight for British title as lined up. COVID now, it might all kick off again, and it might lock down again and stuff, and it might not materialise. That's what I mean. I don't hold my hopes out on nothing. That's why I had to take this fight. I needed a fight, so I needed to take whatever I could get my hands on. So that at 24 hours notice, that would do me for now. That gives me my little fix for a bit.
Yeah. I know it's sort of different levels, but did you see the heavyweight fight last night, Dubois and Joyce?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts on the ending? Just as a fighter yourself, a fighting man.
I don't know. See, a lot of people, it's like question his art and stuff because he took a knee, but his eye was in a mess. And like, it's all going to where people say like, never take a knee, carry him out there on a stretcher and stuff. But you never know what actually happened to his face in there. I mean, he's obviously a top level fighter, but like, and he's a big man and he's game. But I'd like to think I wouldn't take a knee, but who's to say what damage was done to his face? Maybe it was even such. You never know. That might have saved his eye.
Yeah.
Taking that even have saved his eye. Like I hear a lot of these boys. Like, I've heard him up there, and he's been at the shows and this and that. I'd rather die in here than kind of. I wouldn't. If I'm in a mess, get me out there. I got a family to come home to. So like sometimes you got to think of the longevity rather than your pride. So maybe him taking a knee, he might have saved his eye. You can fight another day.
Yeah. Do you think that's where having a good corner man and a good team in your corner that you can trust it comes into being so important that they'll make that decision for you?
Definitely, 100%. Definitely, 100%. Sometimes he's saving from yourself. He didn't yesterday, did he? Saved himself. But like I said, you never know what's going on in someone's head. You're like, with him, did he bottle it? Because he wasn't going his way. It was his first ever tough fight as a pro. So did he just bottle it? Or was he in that much pain? Yeah, you never know. You never know what's going on, do you? But like, yeah, with the corner, yeah, you do sometimes need someone to save you from yourself, too. Yeah. Some fighters do game. Okay,
Craig, I've taken up half hour of your time this morning. I really enjoyed an interview with you. I mean, I know we have a chat now and again, different shows, and I interviewed you once after one of your Bibber shows. But I really enjoyed this chat this morning. Have you got any shout outs for your fans, or have you got any social media where people can follow your career?
I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm not really good at stuff like that, social media and things. 2 seconds. I want to thank my wife today. She's helping me, because I'm not really good at this. So if I keep looking away, that's why. Yeah, I want to thank everyone who's bought the link. I want to thank everyone that ever buys tickets, come watch me fight. I really appreciate the support. I want to thank our sponsors out, but I couldn't have them on my last tops because it was 1 day's notice, wasn't it? So yeah. I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank them as well. GTD Sports Therapy, New Age Development Group, RG Waters Heating and Plumbing, K Jones Roofing, CME Construction, Richie O'Donnell Fitness, Logic and RN Events, Hamran Building Wales. I think that's everyone. Oh, Morgan's Motors as well. Oh, an M&M Body Coach.
I gotta say, Rock, you'll have to wear the big pair of shorts to fit all those sponsors.
I know. You're gonna go on my top. You're gonna go on my top. It's gonna be 7, I think. Yeah.
You're more sponsors than a Formula One team, I think.
I know. I've got a few, right? But I know, mate. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for this. Now, no.
Just before we go, mate, you just mentioned all your sponsors there. Can you just let the viewers know, perhaps don't understand how boxing works and bare knuckle boxing, how important that support from those sponsors is to you and how it allows you to continue your boxing career?
Oh, it's massive support to me, massive, because it helps me with stuff like food prep, buying stuff obviously to use to train. It can be expensive. It can be expensive hobby otherwise. See, so I have a massive debt of gratitude for those people that have helped me. Like I said, I bought a running machine with some of the sponsorship money they give me, which helps me when it's raining. Helped me loads and loads. Yeah, and it's, well, like I said, the career I've had, I feel a bit cheesy saying that, to be honest, but what's come so far. But like I said, massive thank you to all my sponsors.
And of course, as well, one last thing before we go. A lot of people don't realise that probably the best way you can help any boxer, including yourself probably, is when you got fights coming up, just to buy a ticket.
Yeah, it's brilliant, lovely. I love the support. I do get quite a lot of support, I do.
Yeah.
It's like Wales, we all live in small villages, we all know each other, don't we? So yeah, they do seem to get behind it, especially being I think as exciting for people, more than glove boxing. But yeah, like the other day I had 20 hours notice, so loads of links for the fight, and I always sell loads of tickets. So I massive gratitude for all the people that buy tickets and follow my career, follow my fights. I love it.
Okay, mate. So on that note, thanks for your time this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, Key. It's a pleasure, mate.
Really enjoyed having a chat with you, and look forward to getting some more news with your upcoming fights.